I call everybody who's a high achiever and a high performer a rock star. Anybody who's been brave enough to play at a high level and a game that's a pretty big game, just so much courage that it takes for them to show up and do that. And some of the work that I do around them is to create the game to be experienced, not just for the goal. It's a lot of work around like, yes, we want to win the game, or yes, we want to get the deal closed, or yes, we want the company to do X amount of business ROI at the end of the year. But really, what is your experience of yourself as a leader while you're doing it? Because a lot of us have been taught one way, which is to give a lot or to leave ourselves behind, or the ultimate focus that needs to happen to create winners in the world. And
Yep.
while I think that is a useful skill to know, and I certainly don't discredit it, there are other ways to create the same thing, or when the winning strategy stops working, right? Because some leaders, they get to this level and all of a sudden their old tricks don't work anymore. And it's just time for reinvention at that point. So a lot of what I'm doing is expanding back into themselves, which is a form of belonging to yourself, getting back
Yep.
to who you are, looking at all the places that you've left yourself behind to achieve. And then also creating from a place of service and purpose that doesn't necessarily mean anything about your worth. So detaching who you are, which is a big ask for somebody that, maybe their identity is wrapped up in their work. Like for me, my voice is inside my body.
Yep.
So detaching my worth from my work was a big task. But I'm so much happier now creating art and putting things out in the world when it has nothing to do with who I am as a person. And so that's a lot of the work that I'm doing with my rock stars, because sometimes when you've been playing a game a long time and you've been really successful at it, you just forget.
Oh, totally. I mean, oh, there's so much that you said there that I want to dig into. This belonging to self it's hard.
It is. It
It's
is.
really hard. And you have to kind of know that you're lost first. I'll speak for myself. I didn't know for the many years that I was doing my thing, climbing the corporate ladder, whatever, that I was playing somebody else's game. I didn't even know that I had a choice to play a different game, so to speak. Have you found a difference in the past like 5 or 6 years of people desiring to find this belonging to self in a different way, or has it just always been there?
I think it's been heightened. So it's yes to both. It's always been there, but the past 5 or 6 years, it is much louder. And I think that there's a couple of reasons for that, right? Obviously, the pandemic was
Yeah.
very impactful for many people and taught us all what we weren't looking at, whatever personally in your blind spot that you didn't know, you knew
Yep.
after COVID what that
Found it
was,
pretty
right?
fast. Yeah.
A lot of grief, a lot of growing pains into the new life after COVID. I think with AI happening right now, there's a lot of people that are getting very scared about that. I think the divisiveness in our country, in particular in the US, has also heightened loneliness and disconnection. And then when we expand out to the world, right? Like what the world is dealing with in terms of wars and economy, this all heightens a conversation around community and belonging. And so I think that the last 5 to 6 years has been tough for a lot of people. And the starting point has been, hey, let's get back to you and what you need, as opposed to all the armor or the defensiveness or the walls that have been created for protection in the fear. Because there has been a whole lot of fear in the world, especially the last, 5 to 6 years.
Is there sort of a predictable path that your clients sort of take with you? I know everybody's going to be unique, but I'm guessing that there's maybe some similar elements to their journey.
Yeah, I think when I'm working with somebody individually, one to one, it's really like a wave. I think of the ocean because sometimes when a client comes to me, I try to describe what the process might be like. Of course, it's different for everybody, but
Yeah.
in the beginning, the first couple months, there's a lot of new awareness, right? It's like you're being exposed to a bunch of tools and concepts and new ideas. So it feels like you're in a candy shop. Like literally for 3 or 4 months, you're like, whoa, this is incredible work. And I'm so excited. And then the survival mechanism or the self-defense in you will come up and try one more time to say, wait a minute, this is all
Yep.
good, but I want the old way, right?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
probably a month 4, 5, 6, 7, you're back in the mud and it doesn't
Yeah.
feel good. You're resisting it. You're going back to your old ways. You're not sure why you signed up for coaching to begin with. And then this magical thing happens around month 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, where you start to see some results of everything you've been practicing and trying in a new way. And it's like the perfect timing of the universe to say, hey, what you were doing is actually going to work. Watch, here's some
Mm,
results. And I don't know, there's something about that flow that tends to happen with almost every single client. And it's not always right on time, but it seems to be the waves that each client rolls through. So that's for the private clients. And for our organizational clients, I work a lot with organizations who are looking to shift cultures or talk about belonging outside of a politicized version of DEIB, or to get back to community and legacy and
mm,
business results with people being valued, but creating more again from a different place, from a people first and business second, but really creating a lot of business ROI because you're putting your people first.
right.
We're seeing a lot of amazing results with that. And I would say their flow is similar. There's a lot of trust building that happens in the very beginning, a lot of like tending soil, recreating a foundation of just seeing what is there on the table and in the soil itself. That whole process might take 6 months to a year, where we're
Mm,
really getting real about what's actually so in the culture and what people actually want and what the business wants from an elevated place. And then by year 2, we're really in conversations of belonging again to people back to themselves,
right.
because they're getting really clear on their values. They're getting clear on what seats they want to be on. They're getting clear about their superpowers and where they can be more effective in the business versus maybe this business isn't for me. And I need to
Mm.
actually remove myself so that I can go find what is for me, but also this business can then actually have someone in that seat that does want to be there, right?